First time I would have met him was over 40 years ago, and I had him in a freshman world history class. He was, he was a bright student, he was a good student. What I remember most about Rich, though, even as a freshman, he was coaching a team at Jesu, a 7th grade basketball team. And for a young man to be able to coach kids who were just, a few years, younger than he was, and I just thought he was a wonderful role model for them.
Professionally, Rich graduated from John Carroll in accounting. He passed the CPA exam on the first try while he was still in college. He went on to become one of the youngest partners at Cohen & Company. I think he was 28 years old, and then ultimately became Ron Cohen's successor. The trust and confidence that Ron Cohen had in Rich, just a tremendous personal accomplishment.
He's not controlled by numbers. He understands personalities, he understands people, and I think he works to try to get the best out of everyone he comes in contact with. And he's very dedicated to Saint Ignatius, dedicated to Beaumont, dedicated to his church.
He's a family man, family first. He lives those values. When he's with Mary Lou, there's tremendous love and affection that you see that he has for Mary Lou. And then you take that one step further with his children, Rick, Bill, and Karen. He has such pride in his children, and Rich always believed in being a player coach. He loved to be on the field at the same time coaching, whether that be softball or entertainment, movies, music, travel with his kids. He was always what I would call the player coach. Loved coaching youth, and then he goes on to be coaching CEOs. He has clients that he ended up being the coach and advisor to. So I've just seen Rich through his life be this player coach, friend and advisor to young kids, adults.
I think that Rich is one of these great community assets. He's the kind of person that says when he commits to something, he goes in all in, and when he says he's going to do it, he actually gets it done, which is, for any kind of community organization, is a wonderful asset to have.
Rich is ubiquitous on the campus at Saint Ignatius. Whenever there's an event, whether it's alumni, a social event, you'll see Rich there.
He is incredibly compassionate.
Always a positive attitude.
Great sense of humor.
Well, one of my fondest memories from high school with Rich was, senior year at Ignatius, there was a retreat we had to go on. So instead of going off-site, we actually lived with the Jesuits for a week. Unfortunately, none of us converted to become priests, but Rich did introduce me to Aerosmith, listening to Dream On over and over again. So I'm not surprised that Father Welsh moved on to a bigger house without having to share it with a bunch of high school kids.
Probably the hippest accountant I've ever come across. He's got quite an elaborate record collection.
A great record collection and an afro to boot.
He's a fan of saddle shoes, and I've been trying to get him out of those saddle shoes ever since I met him.
And Rich came up with the idea that we would go to the Cleveland Indians fantasy camp. Everybody is assigned to a team and to a manager, and our manager was a guy by the name of Charlie Manuel, who since became manager of the Indians and won the World Series with the Phillies. But Charlie would say to us, "Son, you got to get the head of the bat out in front of your hands and your hands out in front of the head of the bat. Do you know what I mean?" And Rich and I would look at each other and say, "Charlie, we have no idea what you mean." Rich and I are convinced that it's as a result of our training that Charlie became the great manager that he was.
Buongiorno. Hello, Rich and Mary Lou, and all you good folks here at this gathering this evening at Saint Ignatius High School. Well, Rich, I was reflecting. I think we've known each other since about 1995. I was pastor at Jesu, and you were a member of the finance committee of the parish. And I want to say, I'm very pleased to be your friend. Your work at Jesu was wonderful. I've been always impressed, Rich, with your cheerfulness, with your dedication, your competency, and the fact that you were there, always there on time. I didn't know you did all that good work until I read some of your credits. I thank you for all that you did at Jesu Parish, and I thank you, I'm sure, in the name of Saint Ignatius for all the work that you've done for Saint Ignatius. And we've been good friends, and again I say buongiorno.